It is the Major League Baseball All-Star break, so you have probably not been on TV for a couple of days in a row for the first time in a long time. Kirsten Watson joining us here in studio. Kirsten, it's good to meet you. It's good to have you in.
Thank you so much.
What's happening?
You hear that round of applause? Love
Good to
that.
see you.
Good to see you too.
Yes.
No, I'm excited to be here. It's like you said, it's the All-Star break, which means I've done absolutely nothing. So if I'm rusty, you know what happened because I've been sleeping
I'm looking up this Love Island. You guys keep talking about Love Island.
We were talking about it during the break a little bit.
It's a reality show, right?
It's a reality show in Fiji.
In Fiji.
For a long time.
This is
I don't
what
know
you
the
watch.
exact. Yes.
You
6
can't-
weeks, I think.
Really? This is interesting to you? What's interesting?
Technically nothing. It's interesting. But to be fair, technically nothing. Okay.
Sometimes that's the interesting part. Is I don't have to think. I just look at pretty people in a pretty place.
And they are falling in
Yeah.
love, and the whole thing is you're exploring connections. Okay. You're trying to see if you can get to know each other, build a true relationship, and then America has the power to vote you to stay or to go. Now, I do think this year we missed the plot where we're supposed to be like voting for true love, and we kind of were just voting for
I'm voting for chaos.
I think we did that. I think we did
hotness, chaos,
Yeah, of
things
course.
like that.
all
right?
the things. And so we missed the plot. All of the couples basically like got voted off that were like genuine couples. And then someone wins $100,000, or the couple wins $100,000 at the end. But the catch is there's two cards. This is wild. There's two cards, and each person of the relationship has to pick the card. One will have 0. One will have $100,000, and whoever gets the $100,000 of the couple gets to decide if you want to share it because you're here for love, or if you're keeping the $100,000 to yourself.
Oh my God!
So this is what I'm kind of like. I don't know. It's kind of a hot take. I think I might.
I better really be in love if I'm
what I'm
splitting my
saying.
$100,000.
I can buy a Ferrari, and I could,
like, are you taking it home, or are you splitting the 50K? And if you split the 100K, then it's like you are truly here for love.
I love this show now. See, now you hooked me on it.
See, it's the little things like that that get you.
That makes sense.
You have a few days off. Obviously, people see you on TV covering the Dodgers. DeMarco and I, we see you in stadium each Sunday doing stuff at SoFi Stadium with the Rams. You literally just check out because it's fun. I was telling him, I already, after a couple of days, I'm like, I need the baseball games to come back. Like, I needed to have it on in the background. I needed to come. You just said, I'm watching Netflix for a few days.
I think because the All-Star break really is only 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that long. Now, if we're talking, like, the end of the season where all of a sudden, like, that first week, you're like, wow, I have my life back. What a thing. Like, I can do things. I can hang out with people. I can have a social life. And then, like, 2 weeks later, you're like, so everyone's at work. So now
where'd everybody go?
Where'd everyone go? I have nothing to do. I'm actually extremely bored with my time because I just worked every single day for 200 days essentially.
Yeah.
So
you live almost like a ball player's life.
Sure. Yeah.
Like you're
I don't
in the
get paid
stadium
like one,
early.
unfortunately,
No, very few people do. You're there early. You stay late. You work every day.
It's fun. You love it though.
Ball player's life.
1,000%. I absolutely love it. It's worth it. It is a lot of sacrifice. I think I understand, and this is now like I've had the opportunities of covering basketball and working in football, and now being in baseball, it is such a different grind than I can truly appreciate, like the marathon, not the sprint. And watching these guys, and look, we know like right before the All-Star break, the Dodgers were looking a little shaky.
Yeah, they were great.
It wasn't looking pretty. But when you I think when you're in it every single day, it takes away like the highs of oh my gosh, we're all freaking out, because internally, like, you have to be so steady. And so that part I can really appreciate.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
So what is it like in the clubhouse when you have a 7-game losing streak?
I mean, I can't say it's like rah, but it's not like the end of the world. It's more of, okay, we have to show up and do our jobs. We understand where we are falling short. And you could see the frustration. By the time it was like game 6, 7, you saw the frustration truly building. There was the understanding of they were facing some really talented pitching staffs.
Okay.
So there is that. That's the reality factor of it.
Yes.
But when you're looking at just the quality of at-bats, there were some things that were just not pretty. I mean, whether it was the strikeouts from Freddie Freeman, whether it was just, some of those at-bats, Shohei Ohtani, we've seen like kind of, he's now returned to the mound. The average has gone down a little bit, but we're still seeing the power there. And so there were some questions of, should the lineup look a little bit different? Things like that. What is it going to be when he's coming off of his start day? So there was so much happening. Obviously, the pitching is always going to be a conversation that we can dive into if you guys want to. But, like, it was more of the frustration. Yes, it's building, but there's the understanding of, all right, like we also know who we are to our core and how talented we are, that like we're going to be fine.
That has to be a huge part of it. Yeah. Kirsten Watson joining us here in studio, that having a mostly veteran team of guys that have been around for so long, it sucks. We've lost 7 games in a row. Yeah, we've run into some buzzsaw pitching, and we've taken some bad at-bats, but when you have guys like Mookie and Freddie and Teoscar Hernandez, and these guys have been around for, it's like, we're okay. Like, as long as we genuinely believe we're okay, we're okay.
Yeah. Okay, see, this is the difference, and this is what I mean. It's so crazy. This is why I like the earth-shattering world of football. It's a completely different locker room.
Sure.
Yeah. When you lose, it's the end of the world.
Well, because you have 7 days until you get to do it again. So I get that. I'd feel like it's the end of the world, too.
You should be panicking about why you lost. You should be, like, scurrying to try to fix it because you don't want it to happen again. But it's like we got to play again tomorrow really doesn't compute until you talk about it.
It's so different, though, because a football team, like baseball, you're going to fail almost every time.
It's a game of failure.
And so it's not one of these, I got to fix it. You can't fix it to, well, I'll just go 4 for 4 tomorrow. You can't. In football, it's like, that play sucks. We're not going to run it anymore. Or this guy's missing his assignment. We're going to take him out. Like, there are things to fix. In baseball, it's like, you hit the ball at the guy. Like, what do you want me to do?
Fix the damn thing. Nah, we'll be okay. We're going to make it.
Michael Conforto hits a line drive at the second baseman. It's like, yeah, dude, you're hitting a $125. But it's like, but I squared it up. It's like, what else do you want me to do?
You know what? Someone explained to me when I first came into baseball that, like, if you shoot the ball, all right, and it's a perfect shot, perfect follow through, whatever, it will go in the basket. Like, you did everything right.
Yes.
The mechanics were right. It went in the basket. If you throw a perfect spiral and you put it in the position you want it in, your receiver's going to catch it, you can score a touchdown. Yes, there's
Unless
defender.
You're Mark Andrews.
Okay.
My bad. Go ahead.
Like, yes, there are elements that will impact it, defenders, things like that. But ultimately, if you put the ball where you want it to be, you should have success. In baseball, it doesn't work that way. You can literally put the ball in the perfect spot, and then there 9 times, well, maybe not 9 times, but 7 times out of 10, it's going to be an out. So it is a game of failure. So that's the tricky part.
Well, can I put you on the spot? Which one is your favorite, football or baseball?
Oh, okay. So growing up, it was football.
Okay.
Where'd you grow up?
In Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
So growing up just in Florida in general, it's college football. Sure. My grandfather was the president of 2 HBCUs. HBCU football is a whole thing in itself. Sure it is. So like I was growing up going to FAMU over the weekends, things like that. So football was probably the core of it. And now I feel like the SEC is like 20 teams deep. But, back in the day, the SEC was like, you had University of Florida. We had ACC for Florida State. So like FSU. And like there was just... It was the culture.
It's Florida.
It's Florida, high school football is huge. So I would say growing up, it was that. And then professionally, we only had the Magic and we had the Miracle. I was a big Miracle fan when I was younger, yes. So it was that. But then when I joined the Dodgers 5 years ago, it was a big transition going into the sport. But now that I'm in it every single day, you really start to find like the beauty in it. And like, I don't know, you've mentioned just the veteran players that we have, but when you're surrounded by so much talent, but it's not talent that just shows up and does their job. Like they are there so early, doing so much work ahead of the games. And I think there's just something about that draws you in. And so to be fair, and I'm with them every single day, so it becomes this familial aspect. Sure. And so now like football and baseball are kind of like toe and toe. They're a little close, but to my core, like, I don't know, like in going to a football game on a Sunday,
there's nothing like it.
There's like the energy, like there's nothing like that.
Everything's on the line.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's just such a different mindset for the athletes for sure, but even for the fans, it's different. Like when you go to Dodger Stadium to watch a baseball game.
Yeah. You're calm.
You walk through the door, you relax.
Yeah.
I'm here for 3 hours. I'm going to have a couple beers. I'm going to have a Dodger
dog. Yeah, you're right.
Unless you're going 9 for 9, which is crazy.
Right. We're going to talk about that. Hold on. Let me write that down. 9 for 9 for sure. And then you go to a football game.
Different.
You're hyped.
Different.
Yeah.
You're
ready to run through a wall.
Battle.
Yes.
And baseball's like, we got 3. I've got 9 innings. We're fine. The football guys go down and score a touchdown. You're like, what the hell's going on out here?
How hard we work to get in there?
Exactly.
Yes, finally.
Listen, DeMarco running up and down is the best thing.
No, you've never seen me run.
Okay, I should say. walking quickly.
There we go.
Walking.
Shuffling.
Walking with purpose.
Yes, leaning forward and
with
letting
grace?
gravity do the job.
Okay.
Yes. The most tired game I've ever been to was that game in the Coliseum with the Chiefs.
Oh, my goodness. Well, there was 900 points scored in that game.
I laid in my car and went to sleep right after that game. I'm so tired.
Could you imagine if you had to do that in Mexico City?
No.
Oh, my God.
Because you couldn't breathe.
No, I'd be dead. No,
Thank you, Shakira fans.
Right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Nope.
With the altitude? Oh, you'd be breathless.
What do you think? See, there's a lot of back patting going on for our LA Rams right now, which makes me nervous.
Okay.
I don't like it when people are patting you on the back. I like the opposite. I like when they're dismissing you. The overcome factor is huge in football.
Do you think it's, though, because of do you feel like there's a lot of unknown for this season?
I think there's a lot of hype around Matthew Stafford.
All right.
And it's deserved.
Deserved, yeah.
But it's scary because if anything happens to him, it's all over about the shout. That's the thing that scares me.
Okay.
And we're depending on a guy that's 37 years old. He can play, but a lot of bad can happen as well when you have a quarterback that age.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you an example. I think the Dodgers felt this way about Clayton Kershaw. And obviously, those are two peas in a pod.
Mm-hmm.
And Clayton has been excellent this year.
He sure
and
has.
I think when you do have a player, there's something with Stafford in the sense of, yes, okay, 37 years of age, which is kind of crazy to say out loud. I feel like when you look at him, you're like, oh, yeah, like
you don't
35.
Get 37,
you don't get
right.
37.
Yeah.
But what he's been able to do, and I think just the protection that he has, like that's going to be key. It'll be interesting to see what Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua can do. And I like the dynamic of, like, I think what Puka was saying recently, just how much he's learning from him. He's going from one veteran star receiver to another one to continue to develop and learn from. So I do think it'll be interesting, but if anything, it might be just best case scenario of having a veteran in Stafford, a leader in Stafford, when you are going to have such a young receiving core.
Yeah.
And in general, it is kind of a young team. So that's the part that's going to be interesting to me, just how it all comes together. But look, they ended the last year on a high note, so it should be
true.
I think that's a big reason why everybody's so optimistic, is that
Yeah.
it ended at such a high note, and they
But it
came
ended
within,
on a loss.
19?
Yes,
Yeah.
but
A loss, but within 19 yards of beating the only team
True.
that no one came within a
Yes.
mile of.
True. Very true.
And I think that's where it stems from. We'll continue the
The best
conversation
team.
about the Rams. We're going to start with the 9 for 9, Kirsten. That has to happen because he and I have a fundamental disagreement on this. That's coming up next. It's Travis DeMarco.
You've done something that we haven't done and we'd love to do. You've
Yeah.
interviewed Shohei Ohtani.
I have.
That's got to be an interesting approach. He's such a big dude and there's such a big aura.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not at all?
Just a regular old guy.
No, really?
Really?
Yeah, super nice. Really funny, actually.
Yeah.
He's really funny. I will say, if anything, I think at first, like when you first meet him, 1000%. Like, it's kind of just the unknown. How do I approach you? There's kind of the language barrier. You're unsure. But I remember my first time meeting him was at spring training, and I just went up to him and I explained. I said, I'm Kirsten. I'm the team reporter of the Dodgers. There might be times where, you know, Dave might say something in a scrum and I'll want to come and talk to you. Is that okay? Just your comfort, ability level, things like that. And he was like, no problem. You know, he speaks English very well. I understand, of course, with using a translator. Anything he says, just the level in which, or I guess the magnitude and where it goes is huge.
Yes.
So, of course, just feel it with more being comfortable using a translator. But, like, I don't know. I just think
That's kind of like LeBron, right?
Yeah.
Rich Paul says it.
I
not
think
him.
it's bigger.
You think so?
I think it's bigger. It's not bigger here,
Mhm.
but it's certainly bigger in
Oh,
Japan.
1,000. Now, that is very true.
That's
100%.
That's the element that like LeBron is. Don't get me wrong, he's world famous.
Yes.
Like you could go to Europe, you could go to Asia, people are going to know LeBron James. But the impact, and you went to the Japan series, the impact of Shohei Ohtani in Japan. Everything he says here is treated over there like it's the State of the Union. Like
1,000%.
It is.
He's a president there,
It's
essentially.
really
Yeah.
hard to contextualialize how big of a celebrity he is there, and it makes it seem like small potatoes here.
So you know what I would say? Did you guys watch the Beckham docuseries?
Yeah, the first episode, yes.
Okay, so
I don't
in
think so.
that,
Yeah.
it's the story of David Beckham, and it is essentially just in his prime when he was dating posh Victoria
Oh, I did
Beckham,
see
and
this.
like
Yeah.
just the celebrity around him, the fashion, all of it. He was on every ad, every billboard, you name it. That is Shohei Ohtani, but Shohei is like times 10.
Jeez.
Like who he is, there are people who are paid just to cover Shohei Ohtani. They're not paid to cover the Dodgers. They're not paid to cover Major League Baseball. They are
Just
paid
him.
to cover Shohei Ohtani.
Wow.
Everything he says is news.
But how does that not get to your head?
He could say hello
question.
to Freddie Freeman's son, Charlie, and that is breaking news.
Wow.
You know, like
Yes.
it is. And it's interesting to see someone having to navigate that. Like that to me is fascinating. And he is someone who truly does, he compartmentalizes everything, and he is a really good teammate because he recognizes if he puts attention on a specific player, they're going to swarm that player to get the story from him. And with baseball, because it's every day, like that can be a lot. And so he's very good at talking. It's always on the team high level. He doesn't want to go to specifics about any individual because he understands like what that would mean for them.
Yeah.
So that part is super interesting. And he has aura, you know. I don't know what the kids are saying these days, but like he's got it, Riz, you know. He's got all of that.
Skibbity, yeah.
And he is insanely talented. Like watching what he does on the field, like you're just like, not only are like fans and like us, the media and all of us, like we're in awe, but like his teammates are in awe. Like that to me is what gets it. It's just
watching him come up to bat or take the mound more recently, even on Tuesday night in Atlanta for the All-Star game, the very best of the best, they stop what they're doing to watch.
Oh my goodness!
That when he goes to bat, it's like, hold on a second, I want to watch what's about to happen here. And no disrespect to anybody else, but like Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, like those guys are great players, but he's on a different level than those guys. And Kirsten, I want to go back to something you said a minute ago because you're going to understand what I'm asking. You just said he's a great teammate, that he throws shine at other people, that he's very good at making sure that everyone else feels seen and heard. Is it hard to be his teammate? And in other words, because he is so not just famous, but talented, and even if he's not trying to be, he is the center of attention 24/7, 7 days a week. Is it hard to be his teammate, especially if you're a star like Mookie or Freddie or something like that?
I would say in some other clubhouses, I do think it could be hard. If you have players who want to be the stars themselves and are used to being the stars, then I think it would be hard because he would take that shine just because of who he is. But I think the Dodgers have always, when it comes to their clubhouse, just from what I've seen, and it'll be interesting to kind of get your guys' thoughts on this as well, but like they really attract players who are humble stars in the sense. So like, yes, they're insanely talented. Yes, they're future Hall of Famers, but they don't really like the shine. It's almost like a blue collar in a white collar city, you know, like they're not here in LA and Hollywood to be like, I'm that dude, I'm him, and da-da-da. It's not like some of the other sports.
I'm not LeBron James.
I got you. Yeah, but I would say this, and I've been saying this for a while. I think I feel sorry for Mookie Betts. Because you are a star, you are that guy.
But he is still a star.
But no matter what you do, you will never eclipse that. Ever.
But is it more of, though, he has eclipsed it in his own way. Like he is, if you look at what he does in his position, he is extremely talented, as whether it was a right fielder, now shortstop, all of those things.
Right.
I think with baseball, it's so interesting because it's not really it's a team sport, but it's an individualized team sport. So like Shohei is a star pitcher and a star hitter. So if we're going hitter versus hitter, okay, yes, Shohei is better than Mookie Betts. But also Shohei is 6'5", and Mookie is 5'9", 5'10". So it's just like their bodies are different. Of course, they're going to produce different power. Aaron Judge, it's always interesting when I no, listen, this is the craziest thing. Okay, so whenever I go from like baseball to like my first Rams game, I'm always like sitting there like, when did these men get so big?
Oh, right. Good Lord. Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's just like, and I'm obviously very tall, and it's just like, I don't know, it kind of takes me aback at first. And I'm like, oh my God.
Baseball players more or less are regular sized people.
They're regular sized people. And so I'm always like, I could get hurt out here. Like, let me not get tackled on the sideline over here. But like, when you see Aaron Judge, that is a football player.
Yeah.
Like
Paul Skeens is like that.
He just looks too big to be there.
I never put it together. I'm like, this
Paul
dude
Skeens is the same size as Aiden Hutchinson.
A defensive
Really?
end. Yes.
They're both 6'6", 250 pounds.
Wow.
And he's throwing things at you.
Yeah, that's how
He's
big
a big
Paul
boy.
Skeens is.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
And then
crazy.
the new kid, Mizorowski, is a basketball player.
Yeah, he's 6'9",
He is-
something
he's
like that.
massive.
6'9".
Is he 6'9"?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lanky, tall. He can play basketball.
Yeah, I bet he could.
So
yeah.
no, all of that. So I think when it's hard to really compare, like, yes, okay, Mookie's not going to be Shohei. Shohei's not going to be Mookie. Like, there are things that either player can and cannot do. But,
Right.
like, they're both, I don't think it's fair. Like, I think we have a lot of stars on the Dodgers.
Don't get me wrong. It's all about team success. I want to win. What's the name of the baseball trophy?
like
What's the name of the trophy?
The
World Series
oh my
trophy?
gosh, I'm
That
blanking
one.
on it. Yeah.
Right. CTE. See?
Not Larry O'Brien, not the
That's
Lombardi.
NBA,
It
that's
is the
football.
Commissioner's Trophy.
Commissioner's
Thank-
Trophy.
I was good.
Thank
I just
you.
need to talk out
It's
loud.
okay.
I
and
thought
it'll all
it was
come
the
back.
World
Sounds like
Series
my
trophy,
mom.
so there's that.
Commissioner's
Mario,
Trophy.
Andre, DeMarco, you know who I meant. But yeah, it's all about winning for me. But you know, athletes, they do have egos.
Of course they
no
do.
matter how humble they are, they
course.
do. And you do count people at your locker after games.
1,000%.
And I just balled my
But I will
patootie
say,
off, and there's 1,000 people over there and 4 people here. That
but it
would
doesn't
make
work-
me mad.
But it's not 4 people over there. That same 1,000 people is going to go to Mookie's locker.
They're going to gravitate over.
Yes.
Okay. And
And
ask
the
me
other
questions
thing, and to
about
be
him.
no, not
But they're
always.
gonna go
But the other,
second.
Right.
I will say the other
Yeah.
catch is Shohei has very limited media availability.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
So like,
okay. Shohei's not talking today. So
yes.
it's my day.
Now, if
Okay.
anything, if you see like maybe that part, like players could get frustrated with, I could see that dynamic. But like other than I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad for long because this dude is that dude.
He's that dude.
Yeah, he just hit one over the fence, and he's pitching today.
Yeah, and he's going to throw 100.
And it's one of those things, like literally when I tell you, like, so when he pitched, I don't know where we just were, but he pitched recently. Oh, San Francisco. Thank you.
Yeah. Commissioner's Trophy.
Yeah, right. We all got it. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. It's
No
fine.
judgment.
No judgment. So when we were just there, like he threw 3 innings, and even after that, like the next day, all of the guys, like they were still talking about how like he probably could have, how his stuff looked in that game. He could have probably like had a complete game, maybe even a no-hitter. Like he looked that good. And then I think when your teammates are saying that, it's just a different thing.
It's been great having you in here today.
you.
We'll determine how great it's been based on your next answer, right?
Okay. Wow.
so-
Pressure's on.
Oral has answered a certain way. I'm not going to tell you how Oral answered.
Ooh, no, it was good too.
Joe Davis answered a certain way. I'm not going to tell you how he answered. So you're in the hot seat next.
Oh dear.
Can Shohei Ohtani hit for the cycle on the same day that he is the pitcher of record? Not that he will, but is it in the realm of possibility?
Yes.
No. Sorry, go ahead.
Right answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I tell you, you would think it's impossible, but somehow this man can do anything. He could do the impossible. Watching him 40-40, hitting a walk-off grand slam for
Right.
your 40th home run of the season, like that in itself, insane. 50-50, how that came about. I think he had to get like 3 home runs in the game. Did it. The stolen base, I think he ended up having 2 or 3 that game. Like, and it was one of those games where, like, okay, yes, we're in Miami, and, like, you know, the matchup wasn't that strong, but, like, it's the getaway day. Kind of, it's just like, whatever. And he just does it.
Easily.
So I feel easily.
Right.
Like, and so my thing is just, like, as much as I do think it would be challenging, like, if you asked me, like, could he do it in a few weeks or, like, after the All-Star break? Maybe not. Just because, like, realistically, his numbers and his performance a day after a start, I think he is still building up like the endurance of kind of your pitching and your hitting things like right now.
Right.
So I don't think he would necessarily do it right now. But you know, hey, if someone else is pitching on the other team that he sees really
Let's
well,
just say I'm really confident that can't happen. I'm praying that it won't happen because
That
of the
feels-
wager I put on it.
Yeah, you don't
Just
want to
leave it
know.
alone.
You don't want to know
That's
what the
why.
stakes
Okay,
are.
no, I don't know
I
this.
knew there was something to. I was like, because why
There
wouldn't
is.
you want to see that?
Look, I don't want him to do it because of what you've bet on it
We're not going to
happening.
tell you. That's physically impossible. So
just
you're
like
telling
you
me
eating 9 hot dogs and 9 beers.
that's like Josh Allen doing what he did here versus the Rams on offense and then flipping around and chasing around Stafford.
No, it's not.
And getting
Here's
him on
why.
the ground.
Here's why. Because he doesn't play defense.
No, he doesn't play defense.
Shohei Ohtani has hit for the cycle. He's already done it.
Isn't pitching a part of defense? You're
Well,
holding.
hold on a second.
Okay, that's fair. That's a valid point.
But he has hit for the cycle. It's not like it's something he can run. So triples and doubles are not off the table for him. He's one of the more prolific power hitters.
He can hit for the cycle, no doubt.
He also pitches once every 5 days now.
Right.
So those two things just need to happen on the same day. It's not as far. It sounds
I don't
absurd.
know. Has it ever happened?
No, of course.
No,
That's what I'm
before.
saying. Okay, so in the history of ball,
but
no
first,
one's been able to do
But the
it.
first thing that
fair-
has to happen is you have to have a guy that pitches and is a legitimate hitter.
He's that guy.
He's the only one that's ever been that.
And now we're not saying he's throwing a no-hitter and doing it. We're just saying that he's going to like pick up the win.
He pitches.
He just
pitches
pitches.
4 or 5.
He just
6
has to
innings. He
post.
could pitch poorly and still
and
do
then
it.
hit for the cycle at the
Yeah.
same time. Not going to happen. You know this.
But
you know it's not
why
going to happen.
do you think it's not going to happen?
Because it's never happened. It's impossible. That's crazy. No one has that sort of discipline, athletic ability.
How many guys had 50-50?
I'm not telling you're a hater, so
I'm not a hater. I'm just saying. I would love to see it happen. Come on. That's beyond the realm of possibility. That's like walking in space with no gear on.
You know who'd ever had 10 wins and hit 10 home runs in a season before this guy?
No one.
You know how many people had 50 home runs and 50 steals in a season before this guy?
How close has he gotten to this? Because
Close.
that
there
is
were
a good
chances at the
question.
Angels, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But still in major leagues.
I know. I'm just
Sort of.
saying. How close has he gotten to hitting
Sort
for a
of.
cycle
Thank
and
you.
been the pitcher of record? If he's because I've never heard of it until
I
Clinton
will
brought
say,
it up.
listen,
Yeah.
there are things he's done with the Dodgers that like. Obviously, he won multiple MVPs with the Angels, but just like the things he has done has kind of taken things to a whole new level.
Okay.
That like I don't know.
I didn't
There's
think it was
something
possible
there.
to hurdle a guy going backwards until Saquon
Yeah,
Barkley
that
did.
happens
This is what
too.
I'm
Okay,
saying.
but I'm just some
Anything
things
is possible. Haven't you heard this?
Some things
You
aren't
get the
humanly
powder in
possible.
here,
That
you
might
know?
be one of them, right?
All right, so I'm glad you brought up Saquon. Eagles are the defending champs, and they went through everybody last year, with the exception of the Rams. The Rams, I read it the other day. They got the ball back. It was like, was it minute and 50 some odd seconds? They needed to drive the field. They got down to the 19-yard line, and they just it stalled. They missed a block. He got sacked, and that was kind of the end of the run right there. But coming into this season, I think everybody, Rams included, are incredibly bullish on what this team might be. Is there a sense, as you see it, Kirsten, about, hey, pump the brakes a little bit, as opposed to they were out in the second round of the playoffs? It's not like they went out and totally rebuilt this team. It's there are some tweaks to be sure, but it's kind of the same team we saw a year ago. The reason for optimism matched the expectation?
I would say when we look at the Rams season last year, just how things started, obviously it was very, very shaky. They went 1-4 before the bye week. And so like there were just so many concerns in general. There also were a lot of injuries. And I don't think we have really hit on that too much. I know we talked a lot about how like the big key this year is going to be like Matthew Stafford has to stay healthy. But we saw how Puka Nacua, how he developed over the season working under Cooper Kupp. We saw him step up in big moments. Like I do think that when we look at this 2025 team, I think training camp will be really interesting just to see how things come together and like how the group meshes, because there are, yes, it's still kind of like this main core, but there are key new additions, which will be a very interesting factor. I think the hype is there. Like if we look at that divisional game, like the Rams could have won that.
Oh, sure.
yeah.
And like, yes, even last night being at the ESPYs and all of the hype around the Eagles, it just feels like Eagles fans are everywhere and surrounding you at all times, which is kind of crazy.
Yes.
I'm like, how did you get here? Like, where did you come from?
Sprung up out of the ground.
That team was so talented as just like a whole. There are they had the stars in each position, it felt like. Whereas, I don't know. I think that the Rams can have a really strong year. I just think it depends on, we've talked about health. It just seeing how it all comes together, and that'll be so telling in the next few weeks. But like, yes, how they ended, I don't know how there could be a drop off. Like,
yes, that's one thing about the Eagles is they're good and they're talented, and Saquon is all this and that. But I have never seen a roster like that where you're
Like
loaded.
Phillies?
Yeah, where you're
Yeah, they
loaded
were
at
just
every
loaded.
single position.
yeah, like of course, like even like last night, them winning best team and things like that. Like,
Yeah.
like how could they not? They
Yeah.
truly were the
I'll
best
take
team.
him,
Whereas like,
I'll take him.
you know,
I'll take
you have
him.
like a Josh Allen where he's the star of his team, and like he's doing so much, and he is one of the best. But like he does not. The Eagles have a star at every single position. It feels like, so that's where you're kind of like, all right. But then if you have a young team who, I guess not necessarily young, but like a team that has now developing stars, it'll be interesting to see. We've seen how they kind of went toe-to-toe last year. Now you add another year of development for some of the young guys. So I don't know, but I do think like these next few weeks will be very telling and we'll understand more. I think there's potential.
You've said a few times, DeMarco, that the level of confidence around not just people do what we do, where we talk about this stuff, but the people inside the building have a level of confidence.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of danger in overestimating what you might be?
Who called me right before the show started?
Coach Vermeil.
Coach Vermeil. And I asked him that very same question. I said, optimism is high. It makes me nervous. And he said, I understand that, but you have to. He told me a story about him. He had to learn to appreciate the compliments given to him.
Okay.
It takes a while. Like he said, he grew up with this, rough and tumble dad. So everything felt like he was never going to be good enough. That took him a while. He had to learn how to appreciate the compliments. So same thing here. It can happen with a football team. Morale being high is a good thing.
Yeah.
It really is. That's a good thing for a football team. When handled properly, that can help you. So what I'm worried about doesn't really exist. It's just how I'm built. Yeah, that stuff makes me nervous when you're patting me on the back constantly.
I'm a little superstitious, and maybe this is just the baseball background in my life that you always expect the other shoe to drop. And the second you start to think, hey, you know what, I think I got this figured out, that's when the bad stuff shows up.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, look, they experienced it last year.
Yeah.
And they did bounce back from it. Like
2 years in a row.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you think about just the injuries and stuff, like, things were very much looking shaky for the Rams last year.
Yeah.
And I think how they responded, and given how the schedule looks like you can bounce back. And I think that's got to be the key. Like,
can I ask you one more question about interviews? Is Dave Roberts inspiring when he speaks? I'm curious, because I know Sean can make you go through a wall. Sean McVay.
Yeah, he can.
But the sport is different.
Yeah.
Like we said, you're on the line. Everything's on the line.
Yeah.
He can encapsulate that moment and give it to you, and you take the field with that. Does Dave do the same thing, or is his job to be more even keel?
It's both. I think in big moments, yes. So, like, there was a big speech last year. They were in Atlanta. They weren't playing really well. Tyler Glasnow had just found out that he was done for the year, and Dave did have to have that speech. See that look
Glasnow makes me want to run through a brick wall.
No, I called him Glasnow once and he got mad.
No, that's just one of it's a trigger word. It's a trigger word in this room for me, Kirsten. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should not have let my feelings get in the way of your answer.
Hey, what's going on over there? But no, I mean, they found out he was going to be done for the season, and so he had a conversation, and things turned around. And like guys point to that being a huge moment in the season that ultimately put them on this run to go and win the World Series. So he is that guy when you need to be that guy. But in baseball, I had to learn this, of course, coming from a football background. And like, I had a grandfather who gave this huge speech during half times of every game at FAMU. And like, it's the rah-rah and the fans get into it. So I grew up around that. But like, that's not in baseball unless you need it. So Dave is very inspiring and he shows up for his players every day. But he only has to give the speeches here and there. And I will say, but there is always a speech, like if a player does something, like if it's a career stat that they have or things like that, like they celebrate each other, which I think is huge. And even after they win a series, like they take shots. Like literally it's like, oh, we win the series, we celebrate the series. Yeah. Then we move on to the next one.
Take shots like jokes or take shots like...
I mean, I don't know.
Whatever's working for you on any given day.
Okay,
we're not telling secrets. We're just, sometimes you want to celebrate.
Whatever you desire.
Whatever it means to you.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
All to the good.
Like your 9 beers, whatever you desire.
We'll follow up on that.
Yes.
We can. When the cycle happens on the day he pitches and the 9 beers.
Listen, we are popping a bottle of champagne. That's what we're doing.
That is Kirsten Watson. Kirsten, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.